Hi, my name is Patricia Gezzi, and first I want to apologize for my voice. Actually have it back. I had surgery on Monday to correct a problem with my vocal cord that happened from a prior surgery. So now, instead of a whisper voice, which I was living with for a month, I actually have good voice back. So I was diagnosed in June of 2012 with advanced stage lung cancer, stage 4. It was found accidentally. I had no symptoms, no cough, no nothing. I had been treated by my family practice doctor for approximately 4 years because I had a pain in my shoulder that just never would go away, and I was tired, fatigued all the time. My legs sometimes felt like they were in concrete. They diagnosed fibromyalgia, and I lived with that fibromyalgia diagnosis unwillingly, I guess, because I felt like something was wrong. It just wasn't. I was on medication for fibromyalgia, but I still did not feel right. And one day at work, felt like just a little bit of blurred vision on the side of my eye, and I happened to be going to my doctor that day. If I went to my doctor any other day, I probably would have never even mentioned it. He ordered an MRI because he thought maybe it was a migraine. And since I never had migraines before, generally people who have migraines have them their whole life. So he thought it warranted an MRI. I was driving to work right after I had the MRI, and I got a phone call from the nurse at the doctor's office, and she said, "We need you to turn around immediately." And I said, "Well, I'm not going, I'm going to work." And she said, "Please, I'm begging you, please turn around and come back to the office." So obviously I knew something wasn't right. And I called, but in my heart I knew they wouldn't call me back for nothing. So I went in, and they told me that I had 4 tumors in my brain, and they weren't the primary, and they still needed to find the primary, so somewhere else in my body was a tumor. That night I went for a CT scan, and the next morning I got the phone call from the doctor telling me there is a large tumor in my left upper lobe. All I could remember at this time was being devastated, and the thought of leaving, at the time, my 7-year-old daughter without a mom was not bearable. That was not something I could ever, I just couldn't swallow that. And my doctor led me to believe that I had very limited time. So I went to my oncologist, and we did a biopsy, and it came back positive for adenocarcinoma. A lot of the doctors I went to, surgery was out because it was already advanced, and everybody was saying they were sorry. Every doctor, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. And I was so tired of hearing doctors say they're sorry, basically telling me, I'm sorry, you're gonna die, I'm sorry, there's nothing I can do. It was a horrible, horrible time. And I don't know how I went from one doctor's appointment to another. I just was a puddle. I thought I was living in a dream, and it's something you can't even wrap your mind around, that kind of devastating news. My body couldn't even absorb it because it was huge. It was huge, and I felt like he took away my life with saying I had cancer. I had metastatic cancer, and now I have nothing. I have no future. I have no life. I have nothing but to look at but death. And it was a burden on me. It was more weight than a human mind can process. And that went on for a few weeks. I had radiation, stereotactic radiation to the 4 spots in my brain, and 3 of them disappeared, and 1 is still there, but the doctor at Yale believes it's just scar tissue, and knock on wood, it's been well over a year and nothing's come back in my brain. I I started Tarceva because luckily I got blessed maybe with the EGFR gene, and I got to take a targeted therapy pill for a little over a year until my tumor started to grow again. I went down to Yale for a few months and did a whole bunch of tests down there, but I didn't test positive for any trials that they had going at the time. So the suggestion was come back to Middlesex and go on chemotherapy, which I'm now in the middle of chemotherapy. My third treatment will be tomorrow. I spent many weeks at the beginning just not knowing how to live. I had no life. I remember one Sunday opening up the newspaper and seeing the ads and starting flipping through the ads and then realizing that, why would I need to buy anything? Why do I need a new pair of pants or a curtain? Why do I need anything? I have no future. You know, there's nothing for me. I just couldn't get past that, like a death sentence. Advanced stage lung cancer. Everything I looked up on the internet, there was nothing hopeful. Nothing. I had to stop looking because it was driving me crazy. I just couldn't read the statistics anymore. They were so grim. But then the targeted therapy I was on, it worked. And it worked great. It had very little side effects. And then it was about 13 months, and I had a scan, and it started some growth. So now that I'm on my chemotherapy, I think after my next treatment, I'll get a scan to see if that's working. So it's a series of ups and downs. It's you take your treatment for 3 months, not knowing if the treatment's working. You're just hoping that it works, and then when you get the scan, you hope that it says it's shrunk. And I just couldn't live in that cancer world, that negative world anymore, and I had to find a way out because my life was very sad. It was depressing, it was sad, and I couldn't take it anymore. I would cry all the time. If I wasn't crying, I was like a shell of a person. There was nothing in me. And I just decided that if I could just smile, put it up, it would change my attitude. And it did. And I came to the realization that if I just had faith, like blind faith, in myself and focus on everything that I had good, everything that was great in my life, and not focus on the cancer. Yeah, the cancer is in me, but it's not me. And if I just would let things go, just believe that this is for the best, that this will work out. I gained some peace in myself because I never believed in myself. I never believed that I would make the right choice on anything. I never believed, I'd talk myself out of everything. Sometimes I'd write it down, things that I knew I was absolutely certain had to change in my life, but I would never have the courage to do them, even though I knew without a doubt they had to be changed. I also knew without a doubt I wasn't going to have the strength to do it or the courage to do what it took to live the way I wanted to. But cancer gave me that courage. I started feeling good things about the cancer. It gave me the courage to stand up for myself. It gave me the courage to make changes in my life that without the cancer I would not have done. And all of a sudden my life came lighter. It became more mine. Like how I always wanted to live. I like taking pictures. I take pictures all the time. Things are a priority to me. Things that, like everybody knows, should be their priority, but you always find excuses. Now they truly are my priority. Cancer was my motivator. And I don't want cancer to be anybody else's motivator. I wish I was motivated to change my life and feel like I do now sooner. So there's my regret, that I didn't realize that I didn't have enough faith in myself to change my life. So somehow I got cancer and it allowed me to do that. But I don't want people, I want people to have that strength that I didn't have. You know, it'd be nice just if somebody heard something I said, to maybe just say, you know, now is the time, because I know I was a procrastinator, you know, many people are, and I would put it on tomorrow. Tomorrow might be too late for me. So things happen now. They happen as I want them to happen. I don't find reasons to put them off anymore. And I find joy in just the littlest things, you know, a sunny day, the changing of the leaves, because you never know when you might not see them again. And I love the days that I feel great, because obviously if anybody was on chemo or knows or loves somebody on chemo, you spend a lot of time sick. I have my treatment tomorrow because Dr. Fogarasi was so wonderful to let me skip it today, but put it on for tomorrow. But then I'll probably spend at least a good 10 days of nausea and dizziness and head fog and all that. But then like now, I feel great, so I know it turns for the better all the time. But I guess I just want to leave everybody with that there's always hope. I felt hopeless at the beginning. I really did. I felt my life was over. Nobody could have told me anything. I couldn't tell myself anything. Until I believed in myself that nobody knows everything. I don't know everything. The doctors don't know everything. That is where my hope lies. Right there in the not knowing part. So I'm going to focus on being a good person. I'm going to focus on living every day. And somehow that gives me a lot of strength. That gives me control. Because cancer takes your control away. It takes your life away. But I needed that control back. I wanted to be in control of this. So I have cancer, but now I'm in control of my life. Before, I just really would have appreciated if I had smartened up a little sooner and did things that, changed the things that I needed to be changed in my life so I could live a less stress-free life. And I also want to say that I did smoke when I was in high school, you know, maybe a cigarette here or there, you know, when I was 17, my friends smoked, so, you know, I'd grab a drag off their cigarette or something. But that's really my extent of smoking. So I haven't been to not one doctor who told me that smoking had anything to do with my advanced stage cancer. So it's a sad thing, but it can happen to anybody. And I was definitely blown away, as well as my doctor, when that diagnosis came, because there was really no reason to think that that's what I would have had. So it's just brought me to a better place. It truly has. It's brought me to be a better person. I feel like I have compassion. There's no, like, you know, like, hurry up, I gotta get somewhere here, because my life is the most important thing. All these little things or little arguments, you know, you'll hear people say them, and I'm like, I'm not part of that. It is a wonderful thing, because you put your life in a place that's like where it should be. You feel you're right. You're living the right life. And even though, again, I have advanced stage lung cancer, I'm happy with my life. I'm happy with the person I've become because of it. So, sounds silly, but in a way I'm grateful for the cancer. It gave me the strength to be up here. Any other day, I would have never been able to stand up here. But cancer gave me that strength. It gave me the strength to take the time to live the way I wanted to, because I probably would have died if I didn't have cancer of old age and never lived the way I wanted to. I'm happy. I do the things I want, and I'm happy.